evening. This is what we were discussed few minutes before then.
Veera sir, thank you so much, sir. He's one of our core team and he is always supportive. So yeah, thank you, sir.
We were discussed. We already introduced ourselves and we were discussed and we have checked all these
Okay.
things.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Repeated. Thank you. Thank you.
Joined. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Veera sir, shall we start?
Yes, ma'am. We can very well begin. Whether you begin with this welcome or
Yeah, I will start. I will welcome and you can give
to
questions.
speaker.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Happy evening to all. Myself Akshay Lakshmi from core team. I'm glad to welcome our speaker for the day, Subratinam sir, and our dear participants. On behalf of Dr. Suresh Kumar sir and the core team members for the Mental Health Webinar Series 2020, organized by the Department of Psychology, the American College, Madurai, in association with Madras School of Social Work, Chennai, Department of Psychology, Madurai Kamaraj University, MS Chelamuthu Institute of Mental Health and Rehabilitation Center, Madurai, Redpond Educational and Psychological Research Center, Madurai, and Psycho-Oncological Association, Turkey. Now, I request Veera sir from core team to introduce the speaker for the day and also give the basic instructions for the participants for the smooth conduct of the session. Veera sir, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Akshay, ma'am. And good evening, one and all. I'm glad to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Subratinam, sir. He's actually, having 24 years of experience into telecom, and more or less he's actually heading a business as well, vice president into allied vertical and the business head of Vodafone Enterprises. Also, he's serving as a into a post committee member. It is actually prevention of sexual harassment. He was in part of. And he also completed his TL certification and served as an internal assessor. And many activities like enterprise business and solution sales, IoT, leadership, personality development, emotional intelligence, presentation skills, stakeholder management, and key account management, and many functional sessions on behavioral and functional sessions with telecom industry. I can. So I hope it is enough for the day. Like I know. To have a great session, I request all the participants, please mute your video and audio. And if in case of switch on your media, please make sure to wear a decent outfit and also not here, move here and there. And all your queries can be clarified in the QA session. I request Subratinam sir to enlighten us in the today's topic. Over to you, sir. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Veera, and thank you, Ms. Akshay Lakshmi. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. In fact, I never thought that, okay, I'll be actually giving a presentation into a college where most of my close associates, including my wife who studied in this college and who was a gold medalist in 2002, and then a lot of relatives actually too studied in the same college where now I'll be getting into a presentation session. So there is some close connect with American College. So, and that too now when it comes to a psychology department, I felt happy that, okay, I'm going to be part of this particular team and have a session for about an hour and enlighten you with some thoughts, specifically more from a organization perspective. So thank you for that. Happy evening to you all. I'll just get on to the presentation. Okay, you need to excuse me for one element. Currently, I'm now based out of Hyderabad. So what happens is, in case if there is going to be a power cut at my location because of the heavy rain, the power cuts are happening. So I might take about 2 to 3 minutes to rejoin. So please excuse me. That's I just thought I'll just keep you updated. Okay, with that, I'll just get into the presentation. I hope all of you are in position to see the slides, and I'm audible. Is it all fine? Maybe one of you can just acknowledge so that I can actually move on.
Yes, sir, you're audible and video also clear, and your presentation PPT, so no, it's visible.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Veer. Okay, so the topic is browsing personalities. We will straight away get into the deck. So these are the topics that I'm going to cover. So I'm just going to quickly run through on in terms of the behavior and personality. We will also talk about the social style, basically in terms of understanding self, understanding others, how to identify what's the social style of others, and how to deal with such personalities. So that's the content that I'm going to present to you all. And yeah, this looks like a Google web page search. As the heading suggests, browsing personalities. What does it mean? So the browse, we actually, what do we do? Why do we do browsing? In search of something. So yeah, in search of personalities, can we talk about for next 1 hour? That's the content. And what's personality? Yeah, it's nothing but a stable pattern of behaviors, right? We all know how a personality is being judged. A simple one-line definition. I'm not going to get into anywhere technical detailing aspect of a element. Why do we do this? To understand better about a person, to know about the person, to analyze about the person, to form a perception. So why certain times we do understand about the personality unknowingly. Say for example, you are going in a two-wheeler, your side stand is open, and somebody, a third person in the street says that, excuse me, your side stand is there, can you actually make it normal? So what happens immediately? You form you have a good opinion about that person, right? So unknowingly you got to know about a third person just with one gesture, with one element of action, what he has actually involved. And knowingly also, for example, say let's take example of your favorite director. He has already given 3 hits, so then therefore the fourth film you go with some kind of expectation. You know that personality, how he will direct, and therefore you go with some kind of expectation. So that's something which is knowingly you do it. Now, what do we form overall on this? It's all on the perceptions. What is the observation that we are actually having, and how are we going to perceive? So that's exactly what we are actually going to do. Most of us do it unknowingly. And is there a pattern that we can adopt ourselves and we can position it? So that's exactly what we are going to see in the browse personalities as a content. Let's take a couple of minutes for the first 2-3 slides in terms of the basic meaning setting. So what's a behavior? The behavior is nothing but the way we act and interact, right? We know, for example, how child behavior happens. We know how adolescent behavior happens. We know how student behavior happens. We know how, so it's everywhere you can actually have a behavior model, right? For even in an organization, for all management students, you all know, okay, there is an organization behavior as well. So it's all about how we act and interact. There comes definition of it. So as I told you all, I'm not going to get into the definition mode. This is not a lecture in terms of a syllabus. This is something which we thought, okay, we will share ourselves in terms how we actually differentiate and understand the personality. So with that, I'll move on. What's the meaning of a personality? Yeah, I was giving a heads up in the first slide itself. It's a stable pattern of behaviors. You'll find a lot of smileys in this particular slide, whether it is a happy smiley, anger smiley, whether it is actually a sad smiley. So that's the first perception that we all form the moment when we see somebody, right? When you see a smiling face, automatically it gives a positive perception. When you see an anger face, it gives a different perception. You go to a bank, you find the cashier over there. The moment he helps you something, automatically he becomes your very supportive personality. The moment he yells at you, even if everything is there, and if he's actually rejecting you, or he actually treats you with a kind of angerness, automatically you come out with he's a negative personality, right? So that's where, so you will find personality everywhere. Now what are the things? Obviously, yeah, we use a lot of adjectives now. One, maybe a calm person, a cool person, a sad person, arrogant person. These all comes in as a form of a personality traits. Yeah. So what does it form? It's actually, these are enduring characteristics. What's the meaning of enduring? everlasting. It's like everlasting. You cannot actually change just like that. It's going to be remain with you forever. So whatever that you are, you become. So let's now understand a quick comparison in terms of what's the personality versus behavior. So the left hand side shows clearly the personality is what we are and the behavior is what we do, right? The behavior can change at any point of time. You may be at a home, as soon as you get up, you'll be maybe calm, and as soon as you come across a very tough situation, your behavior will change. How you actually respond to others also will change, but whereas your personality remains the same. So that's the actual content. Now the ability to change behavior. So if you see the organization behavior as a subject in management class, and the moment you start getting into a work culture, or what happens over there, your behavior tends to get changed. What do? You practice well. Maybe when you join at the junior most level, your behavior will be different. When you want to become into a leadership level, your behavior changes. So how do you actually do that? By taking care of your personality. Now let's take a small example here. So now in this case, let's say that, okay, the public speaking is a behavior, right? So when it is a public speaking, that it's a cakewalk for so many, and it's going to be a tough subject for so many, right? How do you handle this public speaking behavior? So some people, they actually go fluent, they can talk for about an hour. Some people will be like so much of anxious, they will be shivering, they will be hesitant. Some people will say the complete just to they will avoid it. So now there comes the personality of a person and the behavior in which they are exhibiting, right? But then the behavior can be changed, right? How you can actually practice. You can control your personality and change the behavior, the way how you have to respond to the situation. So a simple situation, there are so many examples which we can actually talk. Over the slides, we can actually cover all the examples in an easy way. So now I'm not going to spend much time over there. So much of things we spoke. What I would request is maybe just have okay, so before me actually talking about this slide, it will be better if you can actually have a pen and paper. I'm sure most of you would be logged in from your mobile and listening to this. Just take a pen and paper, keep it handy in case if there is going to be a calculator, it will be more good. So just keep these things handy. Maybe next 15 to 20 minutes, we will actually just do a small 5-minute exercise, which will be kind of an interactive session for all. So that we will actually do. Okay, so now coming back to this particular slide, these are the common traits. There are so many traits a personality can be identified. Predominantly, the first cut personality is actually we identify by the look of the way the person is dressed, by the look of the way the person has their image. Say, for example, the moment you say cool captain, automatically Dhoni comes into picture. The moment you say arrogant nature, some villain comes to nature, or somebody who is actually very, very strict, always there is no supportive face from that person, the arrogant personality comes in. One second, I addition request. Okay, so these are some of the traits. So we are going to talk a little bit more. So I'm not going to spend much time over here. So one of the other trait it comes out in the form of a body language, right? So body language by itself is a separate subject, and we'll just take maybe a couple of minutes to. Yeah. So maybe others can actually go on mute. Yeah. So the body language itself is a separate subject. So here, what you see here is actually a person who is sitting with the legs on the folded, and so what does it depict? Okay, the person shows kind of a yeah, I am the dominant character. So for example, a person who sits in a chair with maybe a broad shoulders like this, he's actually a kind of yeah, you are in control of me. I want to take control of you. That's the image that comes out. For example, a person who actually talks with looking at your eyes, he's genuine. But the moment he talks more, automatically it gets into what? It's like he may be lying as well. So for example, you will find somebody's leg will be like doing a type rating. They will actually completely shake their legs. So it's not seen outside, but the moment you start feeling it, which means it's the person is actually what internally he is actually not okay, right? So there are so many stuffs. The how the person is dressed, how the conversation, how the person converse, is the person has a control on the language what he's speaking, is the person is in actually is he fluent guy. So all those things actually comes out through a body language, right? So all those things will get into the personality trait, and that's the first get of impression that we all get to know. Now with that we will see. So is there any place where persona changes? So this is a nice picture where the person has a smiling face, but internally the person is actually so sad, right? So now, do we come across this? All of us actually come in this kind of a mode at one point of time or other. So now we differentiate easily. The previous slide can be explained with the work and home personality behaviors, right? Now there are certain behaviors where in work, you will display as a work personality, and then in a home you will display a separate behavior because of your home personality. Let's take, for example, the way you dress, right? Obviously, for all professional reasons, you have to be very well dressed for your work. But the moment you come home, you don't do that. But what's the difference? What is it? How are you actually getting it done? So let's look at some of the elements. So obviously, yes, it's so natural that, okay, you have dual personality. Now at work, what happens? Certain things you might actually hide it. Correct. For example, you may be so much of a jovial person, but I'm assuming that, okay, your boss is so rude, okay, and he doesn't like somebody is enjoying under him. What happens? So because of the fear of superiors, you tend to hide your personality. So your work personality is different. Or for example, if you are in the other side, if you are the boss, what happens? Just because you being the boss, you cannot play around with your team members. Therefore, again, you have to hide your behavior. So it's a completely a different environment at work. But whereas in home, what happens? You become so natural, no fear of anything. So specifically, you have the full freedom to do anything, and you express everything out as well. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may not be. So what happens? Your home behavior is completely different. So let's take example of even teenagers or college students. Specifically, when they are with parents, it will be different. Specifically, when they are with friends, it will be different. Why? Because the naturality changes. Yeah. So what happens because of this dual personality? So the impact can be harmful. So what is it expected? So whenever you are behaving, okay, or whenever you are showcasing a personality, what happens? The authenticity. Are you actually genuinely interested, or are you so in at office? At times you can actually find it out. Maybe office in the sense wherever in a workplace. I'm not sure what kind of a profile all of you are in. For example, if you are in an office and if you're already used to office environment, there will be certain people who will be like completely doing something for the bosses. There will be somebody who actually wants to do something just because they want to grow in their career, but because of which they lose their natural identity there in front of them. So what happens? So if the authenticity fails, the positivity actually reduces. And only if authenticity is there, your trust begins. Correct? We all agree with that. Now, in case if this has to be course corrected, what has to be done? So you have to be very clear with when you are actually feeling natural and comfortable. If you are not feeling natural and comfortable, obviously you are hiding something, right? This happens specifically when you start hiding, and hiding becomes your natural aspect. But someday it will actually come out. So that's how the element happens. So let's see how the behavioral changes. Now, this is something very, very interesting subject. Okay, let me just explain you some of the points that I mentioned here. So assuming some situation, okay, this is a sequence. Whenever there is a situation, the thought gets provoked, and then because of the thought, the emotion comes out, and because of the emotion coming out, the behavior cuts known to somebody, right? Let's read the content over there. So because of a situation or a fact coming in, how your thoughts gets triggered. And whenever such a situation comes, your thought gets triggered in multiple directions. So it not only stops with one element. And during that point of time, the actual emotion for that particular instance comes out, right? Now, because of that emotion coming out, your behavioral thing changes. Say, let's take an example. For example, you are in say a temple, and you were actually peacefully sitting over there, meditating, coming out, and you find your 2000 rupee chappal lost. So that is a situation. Now, whatever that you had an inner peace of mind in the temple is all lost, and immediately your thoughts goes waver around what happened to my chappal, right? And it is 2000 rupees. Imagine that's 2000 rupees. All your peace of mind has gone. Now the thoughts have started coming in. Oh, what kind of a thoughts? I said, right? Multiple thoughts comes in. So say, for example, oh, has someone stolen it? Oh, or there is a flower merchant there. Maybe he has actually taken it and kept it aside, or somebody has actually mistakenly put it across, and somebody will come and take it up. So all your form of thoughts will actually come out within fraction of seconds. your emotions will start coming in, the anger so I'm just saying in this example, say it's an anger, assuming that okay, your chapel is lost and you started cursing somebody, and what happens, the behavior, the cursing that is coming out of you and your restlessness gets showed over there, that forms a behavior, right? Now how do you control once when you are aware of the situation? Okay, so to that level, to be very frank, almost 95% of the people gets trapped into this session, and the people who are in a position to control, okay fine, are you in a position to control your thoughts? Yeah. Okay. What would have happened? Maybe these are the four probabilities which could have happened. Okay, I know if A would have happened, okay, I cannot do anything. Come to the acceptance stage. If not, okay. So then what are you trying to do? You are controlling your thoughts, you're controlling your emotion, and therefore you are displaying the right behavior in front of that particular moment. Right? This is an important element in terms of organizations as well. The place where you work, the place where you actually how do you control your behavior, and that becomes a practice. That's where the leadership trait actually comes in, right? So let's take one more example here. I'm just going to visualize, I'm just going to get you all into a thought process. So imagine you're working in a flower garden, right? Flower garden, beautiful place, and something falls on your neck without your knowledge. Okay, you try to check what it is. What could be, what all it could be? Let's take in the first instance, it's a caterpillar. The moment you know that it's a caterpillar, what is that you actually get? The emotion is coming out frightened, because you don't want that to sit in your shoulder. You just then what do? Your actions and the emotions come in. Run and clear your neck 10 times. Maybe in the first instance, if the caterpillar has fallen down, but that feel of that particular frightening message entered into your body, and you start putting up with your behavior of, and you will maybe run away for 10 feet away from that particular place, as if everywhere the caterpillar is falling down, right? That's something which is on. Now imagine, let's go to the option 2. It's a flower. So what do you feel? Okay, the moment you touch it, you know that it's a flower, your mind gets more relaxed. You will feel your smile also will come out, and you start carrying on with the walking, right? This is a natural tendency. Now what happens here? The thoughts, whatever that we saw in the previous slide, it's been put up in a circular mode. So the thoughts, the cognitions actually gets initiated, and the feelings, the emotions comes out. In the first instance, it's a frightening emotion. The second instance, it's a relaxed emotion. Accordingly, your behavior changes. So therefore, so let's take, for example, one more, I'll give one more example. Say in 2011, under Dhoni's leadership, India won the World Cup, right? How many of you seen Dhoni celebrating crazily? No, right? Maybe a couple of, I think, if I'm not wrong, 1 year before, 2 years before, that is previous to 2011, Sourav Ganguly, when he won the Ashes series in England, he started celebrating. How did he celebrate it? What was his behavior? He removed his shirt and started dancing in the ground. Now, but at the same time, the World Cup was won by Dhoni, and how was he? Very cool, very natural. That's how he actually got his attainment of the cool captain, right? Now, if during a celebrative moment, he's not showcasing it. He knows what his thoughts and how he's actually controlling. And during a very tight situation, you will not find him pressurized, right? That's the leadership trait, and that has become like maybe a training program for all the people who are getting into a leadership position. How you have to actually handle a situation without getting into any kind of anxious moments. And now this is the cycle. If you are aware of this, the reason why I'm actually talking about all this is, if you are aware of this, you will be in a better position to have the streamlined thoughts, and you will be able to control your emotions, and you will be able to showcase the right behavior. So that's where this particular slide talks. Some sentences, you can actually read it out. 99% of the time, we don't notice our thoughts, right? We don't know that actually we are actually thinking, and it's getting into that kind of direction. They go on in the background. It helps us to make decisions and carry out many tasks automatically, right? For example, you know that, okay, you are going on a highway and there is a child that comes automatically, since you are so proficient in driving, your brake. So it's all the thought process that comes into your mind, right? And behavior comes in. Now the last line, something if you see here, the changing cognitions of behavior, it will also change the emotions. Is that right? That's exactly what we were actually talking about. Now that forms CBT, which is nothing but the cognitive behavioral therapy, which is by Dr. Oren D. Beck. It is a separate subject altogether. We will not discuss more. But then I just want to show a pictorial depiction of what it is. I'm sure most of you are from TN. We can actually relate the movie, what happens over there. The person is, so what he's been done, he's been counseled, right? This is how the CBT actually happens. Now, if you actually see the person who is restless in nature, you just spend 15 minutes, the right person, do right counseling, the person come to a normalcy mode and the thoughts are being controlled. Then that point of time, whatever the decision he has to take, it will be the right decision. Whereas in the other mode, when you're so restless and when you're in a very terrible mood, there are so many times people say, right, when you're in anger, don't take a decision. Take a decision after 5 minutes. All those things are correlated. So if you are aware of this, can you control these the three things which are actually happening, which is the thoughts, the emotions, and the behavior? Now, with this, we'll move on to the next. The important element. See, today, for example, now I'm actually talking to you all. And for about 95% of the people, or maybe 99% of the people, maybe I may be new to, right? How do you perceive me, right? You may be perceiving me based on the conversation that we are having, the way that I'm actually giving this webinar. And so this is actually what you're seeing now. Now, for a common man, what will happen? This is only two things: how the person responds and how he is actually on assertiveness scale. So these are the two things which, without our knowledge, we actually measure. For example, the two-wheeler example that I gave, and with the side stand, that's the response which was given by third person, and you acknowledge it, right? How? And at the same time, for you as well, okay, just to hear, maybe I'll just take a minute of explaining what is assertiveness. There are three types of communications, right? One is aggressive communication, second is assertive communication, third is a passive communication. So aggressive is I want, say for example, this laptop, I want mobile. That is aggressive communication, which means I want, the power comes in. Passive communication is it will be good if I can get a laptop, which means you take the blame for you. I will not be able to work, but if you give me laptop, I'll be okay, I'll be able to work. The assertiveness is, for me to do my work better, I want laptop. So then it becomes like there is a justification, and you are neither aggressive, neither passive, but you are assertive. So on these scales, a person is perceived. Now, are you aware of this? Now, let's start. Whatever that we want to do, we will analyze people. We will actually get to know how things we are indirectly, how we will actually analyzing people. We'll get to know. Now, these are some of the prominent figures. I'll just take maybe a minute. So Dhoni, I spoke about how cool he was, and you will always find him on a smiling face. The first two, let's first discuss, then we'll go to the movie characters. The second one is Hitler. I don't think I have seen a smiling Hitler face anywhere, because that is his natural tendency. That is his enduring characteristics, which is like, okay, fine, I want power. I am the person. Everybody has to be under my control. Now that's the personality coming out with the natural way for those two individuals. Now, other side, the four pictures that I have shown, they are actors, right? Now, why I have shown here the actors still. So, for example, the first one is Talash. In that movie, Amir Khan acts in a way, right, 100% like he will be like in a moody character. So that's the character in which it has been built. So he will also be looked upon as such a personality in that movie. The next one is Three Idiots. In Tamil, it was called as an Anban. So the character in that particular movie actually showcases, okay, how a person, it actually are Maslow's theory of needs, self-actualization, right? Yeah, this is what happens. If there is a negativity happens, okay, fine, yes, I will accept it, and I will now respond how the way I have to be. In case if something positive happens, yeah. So the same personality has played two different roles, and during watching what we do, we just get immersed into that character, right? We understand that. That's what. So the bottom character, Hrithik Roshan's, the one is a war movie, the other one is a Super 30. In war, he has to, being a raw agent, he actually understands how his character has to be. Whereas in a Super 30, it's like a very a character who is like flexible with everything, and he doesn't know how to showcase his power. Right now, these are some of the character study that we have done in the last, say, 60 seconds by looking at the movie images. Now, do we know our characters? Do we know our social style, what we are actually in, before assessing others? Only if that's what I am saying. See, I think this is the third time I'm talking about. Okay, when you are
Suresh, I couldn't actually listen to him. Maybe he may be disconnected, as he told. There is some power fluctuations are there in his case. I think we will try to connect him through mobile phone. Akshay, are you there? Akshay?
Yes, sir, I'm there, sir. I can call.
Yes, yes. Just make a call to him and then. It's showing that network error. Yeah, now he is there.
Yeah.
But
I'm so sorry. There was a power fluctuation.
sir,
I'm back. Thank God that I was able to back in 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. I hope I'm audible and you're able to see the presentation, right?
yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so we were talking about the characters in the movies, and then I was asking you all a question in terms of whether before we reading out others, do we know what characters we are? Do we know what kind of a social style we possess? So, okay, the pattern of observable behavior is what it is. It indicates, I'm not going to talk about the sentences. I think I have given ample examples in which all these actions are being captured. So now let's get into a small work. So do you know your work style? Let's check it out. So maybe one of you can actually acknowledge. Are you all ready with a paper and a pen? Maybe I'll give 30 seconds. You can just have it. One of you can give a acknowledgement so that I can actually move on to the next slide. It's a small exercise we will do for about 3 to 4 minutes. It will be an interesting one, which talks about. Okay, great. Thank you. So what I would request is there is going to be a question. Okay, let me go to this. So this I call it as a x-axis score. There are about 15 points here. Just select which one. Suppose on the first point, if it is quiet, you mention yourself a mark for 1. And suppose if you feel, no, if you are going to be a talkative nature, mark as 4. Suppose if you are nearer to talkative, mark as 3. Suppose if you are nearer to quiet, mark as 2. Like this, do for all the 15 questions exactly in, say, maybe less than a minute. Don't take too much of time, because be natural as you are. This is a small exercise which we can actually do. Maybe I'll give about let's take 2 minutes time, so that it's at 7 to maybe 7:04 we can actually get into the next slide. Is it fine with all of you?
Yes.
Yeah, I would request you to just start scoring for yourself. So for every question, you can just take maybe 3 to 5 seconds, not more than that. It's your natural tendency. There is nothing called as ideal state. It's absolute about you. And I'm opening up the chat window. I could see some of them are posting it already. Thank you for that. So towards the end of it, I want you to sum up, which means all the respective points. For the first one, if it is 4, the second one is 3. Sum up all the 15 points.
It's from our perspective, or it is from towards others?
No. It is your perspective. You as an individual, are you a quiet person? Are you a talkative person? Because only if you are so strong with understanding your personality, then we can actually move on to judge others. So that's what we are actually trying to do.
So in that case of supportive and challenging, for example, I'm a very supportive person for others, but if there is any challenge, I'm ready to take up. How will you decide on these aspects?
No. The supportive challenging is not on that element. It's
Okay.
actually because you will also find challenging also coming in a different form. So for example, if there is one decision given to you, are you directly supportive, or you will always challenge that decision?
Okay.
So that is the nature of the question. If you want me to explain each and every point, I can actually do that as well. But because of the time sensitivity, I'm just allowing it to all to decide and just complete.
Can someone read it?
Excuse me, sir.
Cautious versus visible to me. Careful.
Cautious, this is carefree. Cautious in the sense, suppose if something is being given to you, are you always cautious or carefree, that you take it easy person?
Can someone please utter it?
Which one? Carefree. The next one, is it?
See, I get, I'm cooperative as well as competitive. How would you say this both? I could see that
Yeah,
somewhere both are going
I'll,
well.
yeah. No, that's what. Which of more of you is what is actually the point. See,
Mm,
for sure. See, certain places even I also know I am actually will be very quiet. But certain
mm.
places I'll be so talkative. But what is my natural tendency? So therefore, suppose if it is cooperative, obviously, yeah, you may be fully cooperative. Competitive is when that maybe in a professional life scenario. That's what I said. Everyone will have a dual personas. But as much as possible, what is your natural tendency? There is nothing called as a good, bad, ugly in this. It's about your natural tendency.
Can you a little bit elaborate non-assertive, assertive, mellow, and matter fact?
Okay, so non-assertive is absolutely like I gave an example of the assertive, aggressive, and passive, right? Suppose if it is assertive is I want this laptop for me to enable for me to do the work better. That is assertive. If it is non-assertive, either you will be so aggressive or you are so submissive. Which means are you assertive or non-assertive? So, for example, I gave this example, right, for getting a laptop. So, if you are not giving a right justification for what is your ask, you do you say I want laptop, or do you say that no, if you are not going to give laptop, I will not perform. So, among these three sentences, which one will you prefer? Are you always whenever you give a statement, will you give the statement in such a way that okay, somebody else is justified and immediately they support you?
What is the difference between mellow and matter of fact?
So mellow is like everything that you accept. So you would have seen this, a person who is so aggressive at one point of life. You will find that person maybe he has got some kind of a say heart attack, and then you will never find him arrogant at all. He will be mellowed down. So the soft version. The matter of fact is, at any point of time you will go only with the facts. So that's the character. So the mellowed version is even if we know that there are facts, but you will actually accept just because the group has said. But when it is a matter of fact, if it is only with facts, I will accept. Then that's how you are.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry. So how to calculate these?
Okay. So we have to just put a scoring against respective parameter, and just you have to sum up the total 15 points. Is it been done? I could find one person has completed it done. Can we move on to the next slide? There are two slides.
done.
One is like this and second one is another one. Okay, great. Thank you. So don't worry about whether it is other side. It's just a, yeah. So please have the score with you. Now, please have the score divided by
So how to
15.
calculate that score? How to calculate?
Yeah. So
Is it to
after
the
scoring for all
bracket
15.
Okay.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, I've done of all 15 questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So calculate. So how to calculate? Means if it is
So
3,
please sum up. Please sum up all the numbers that you have. You will have a value starting from 15 to 45. You will have one value coming in between, right?
Okay.
That value then divided by 15. Keep it handy.
Okay.
I could find people posting in the group. Some of them completed it. So I would request you to just complete it with the numbering as well. So one is the summing up, second is divided by 15. Have that value. Have it with you. So okay, done. Great. So I'm moving to the next slide. Do the same exercise for this as well. 1 second. So do the same exercise here. Maybe just don't take more than 2 minutes. Maybe anything, if you are not able to follow, just ask me. I can actually give you an example. I think in this section, most are very easy. I don't find much of a.
Excuse me, sir. So, what is warm and cool personality? Like, how to define?
So warm is like always you will be like maybe receptive in the sense when you say a warm personality, always a helping personality. Cool is you don't showcase your warmness in the sense. Say for example, you go to I gave an example of a bank. You go there, the person actually starts helping you. Cool is whether maybe you may not be showcasing your helping tendency, but you will remain as is you are.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, it is actually not cool. Cool in the sense it's a cold. Actually, that's the right word, which means you show a cold shoulder.
Sir, can you just describe about animated and poker faced?
So animated is like, for example, when you actually interact with your if you're going to interact with the 2-year-old kid, okay, and you will find some personalities like always like they themselves will behave like a Baba Black Sheep, means they will behave like Baba Black Sheep. They'll start animating. So I was just giving an example of a children interaction. For example, if you're actually going to talk to me, when you want to showcase your point, if you are angry, you will also showcase your entire body language as well. That is animated. Your body becomes, you always animate yourself. Poker face is keeping mum like this, irrespective of whatever that happens. Even you want to convey the toughest thing, you will convey like this. That's poker faced.
Thank you. I got it.
Yeah. So you have completed it? So I want you to do the same thing, sum up all the 15 points and divide it by 15, have the scoring as well. So impulsive is like you tend to do anything as and when it happens. For example, if you go to a mall and you find some sale over there and you want to buy, that is impulsive shopping. But whereas when you want to do a shopping, no, I will buy only when there is a Diwali, when the Diwali comes and my budget is only 500 rupees, which means you are methodical, right? Anything that you do, you will actually go in that structured way, methodical way. So that's the difference between impulsive and methodical. So like this, we have explanation for everything, but these are all the characteristics. I'll come to the next slide. So we have more slides to cover. So shall we move on? Okay. So I could see people having scores. I'll move on to the next slide so that we can actually cover the other slides as well. Okay. So whatever the scoring that you have got, okay, I would request you to plot it in this graph. So if you see the x-axis, it starts from 1 from the left and go to the 4. So suppose if your score is say 2.2, it comes between 1.75 to 2.2, plot it over there. And if your y-axis score is say 3, so 3 comes in the top, so plot it over there. Connect both these dots with the rectangle. So what I want is, I would request you all to just post the quadrant, which quadrant you belong to. So 2.4 and 2.5, I could see that. So it will be coming in 2.4, 2.5. So it exactly comes in the edge of the A quadrant. So I would request you to just post. I think people who are there, maybe I would request you to post. You will actually find interesting versatility of people will come on this chat board. A, C. Can others also post? C, A, B. Yeah, great. So we have A, B, C, and A dominating, B dominating. Okay, great. So fine. So I think thanks for it. We will move on. We don't, because had this been only exercise, maybe we could have spent more time in analyzing this. I'll tell you what it is. Thanks for all this support. Here comes the quadrant. So the x-axis is actually a assertiveness scale, which is on the left is less assertive, on the right is more assertive. What are those people's characteristics? You will find here. The less assertive person is always asking more, always cooperative, whereas the more assertive person is, he's so competitive, he's actually forceful. And the y-axis is from the bottom it is less responsive, and the top is more responsive. Now the quadrant are like this. If it is a A quadrant, it is amiable, right? People who are posted A, you are an amiable character person. Okay, you are less assertive, but at the same time you are more responsive. You give more importance for the feelings. When a person is in a B, the person is more expressive. He is actually more on response and more on assertiveness. So we will actually talk about this. The C quadrant is analytic. The person is more of analytics. He will talk only facts. I could see some of them in C as well. I couldn't find somebody in D. The D category is the driver category. So that person is like, yeah. So there is nothing called as, that's what I said. There is no good category as this is the category, this is the category. This is something which talks about your personality. Okay, who you are, what is the social style, whether you are an amiable character, whether you are an analytical character, whether you are an expressive character, or you are a driver character. Now the amiable person actually goes more with feelings. The expressive person goes with more of intuition. The analytic person goes more with of a thinking, thought process. Then the driver person is always sensing. Okay, he senses everything. So we will talk a little bit more in the coming 4 slides. Thanks for all the supportive interaction. I think this is you will also understand here. So I'm actually just giving the points on what kind of amiable characteristics person. The person is more supportive, respectful, more friendly, cooperative, personal in nature, relationship oriented, right? This person doesn't want to lose anything. So for the sake of relationship, he's okay to compromise as well, right? Now for the person who is an analytical person, this person is so cautious, always serious. He's so accurate in whatever the person does, and he's so detailed. He cannot miss anything. Most of the time he has the OCD aspect as well. It's more logical and has a thinking oriented. The driver person is always, this is the person who's a bossy nature. The driver person, the bossy nature of so many individuals in organizations in any form, the leader level actually comes in a driver. At times they actually go with the task oriented. When they have a task oriented as the actionable point, this is how they actually have. They are efficient, they are pragmatic, they are direct. Now the expressive person is, it's a completely, so this person, if you want to be with this person, amiables and expressives are the two people who are like, you can actually spend a lot of time with them. They will entertain you a lot. So you will find happiness with them. So here you find dramatic, spontaneous, creativity, visionary, intuition oriented, right? Okay, so these are the characteristics of a person. So now I'm actually going to skip this slide because this is a further deep diving of respective quadrant. The place where you actually you plotted actually is divided into these 16 quadrants. In which place where you will come in. Maybe you can take a screenshot and then it will also be posted. You can actually understand more. We will actually have a little bit of aspect. See, today, for example, you know your personality, right? Now you want to buy a car, you go to an automobile showroom, and believe me, for example, you don't know anything about automobile. Okay, you are a person, you know driving, but you don't know anything about, say, how automobile functions. But imagine the sales guy starts talking to you about, okay, sir, this is engine, this has got a combustion, this is how it fires, and he start explaining to you for 1 hour. Do you think will you be interested? Absolutely not. Whereas the other salesperson will come and say, okay, sir, you are a family of 2 members and with 2 kids. Okay, this will be suiting for you. This has got an automatic air conditioner feature. This has got a power window. And these are the things which you will be more interested, right? So what happens in this mode? The first scenario, the sales guy talks more of automobile, how it functions, which is the core functionality. You are not interested. So now what happens? So is it right to say that we need to know our audience? Because if the person is not interested and if you actually connect, do you think the person will be listening to you? Absolutely no, right? This is exactly what happens in a training center. During a training, everyone has to listen. Unless and until the person is interested to know the subject, he cannot be trained. So now how do we understand? So we will come back to the same points on the amiables. Respective category. For amiable, okay, what are the characteristics these people possess, right? So they are less assertive, more responsive. Environment is warm and comfortable. Warm and comfortable is like, okay, fine. You go to them, even when they are working, you go to them, they will just have time for you, right? They tend to stay in a long, in a position for a long. So these are all almost about 90% are generic characteristics of these people. So do not like high pressure and tend to avoid it as much as possible because they want to be placed to be completely warm. Time management is okay, even if it is a little bit delayed here and there, it's absolutely fine for them. Now, for these kind of people, how do you deal with them? So what are their personal interests? You have to be patient with them. You have to just, because they are more interested in terms of the feelings, so you have to be more cautious with your words. You have to stick up to the point. What kind of approach? So you tell them, and then you actually, and give them always the agenda in terms of, okay, what is the, do not give them a surprise element. And in case if you want to force them you want to convince them, you have to force them. See, one, we understood what is the character. And then second, we are actually now telling, okay, how to deal with this character. So this is for amiable. We also got for analytical. So analytical person, it's very, very simple to identify, understand. They are very less responsive. Most of the time, you will actually find such personalities in, say, for example, a finance department or accounts department in an organization. People will be like very grim. They work only on numbers. They're more of Excel sheets. Fascinates for analysis and the data. Very precise about the punctuality and the figures. You say that one figure now, and then you second time you say something, gone. You will not be given a space with them for the next time. How to handle with them? You have to be more analytical and technical to get their attention. You should have some kind of expertise to them. Do not employ pushy and aggressive style. You have to make solid and factual statements. You have to be organized, and no bluffing. You have to talk to the point. Even they will be okay even if you talk to them only for 2 minutes, but you should not bluff. You should not roam around multiple things. This is the analytical character. Now we have driver as a characteristics. So for these people, what we have, they are very assertive and less responsive, right? This is what I was talking about, the bossy nature. So what are their characteristics? Their business environment is always formal. They don't entertain anything of non-formal. You talk about a film, movie, how is it, etc. No, they are not interested. You talk about a cricket match. No, they are not interested. They will have a completely organized, and always they will be in formals because they actually dress up to the situation. Now, how to deal with them? You have to be very, very assertive. You have to tell them very clearly. You should not be passive as well. You should not be too much of aggressive as well. Aggressiveness 100% will not settle on. That's where the ego comes into the picture. So you have to be brief, allow them to feel and control. Talk about the results and actions. What if suppose if you say that, okay, I am going to do this, don't give any generic statement. You say that, okay, I am going to do this on so and so date, and if I don't do this, I will actually do this. That's how they like it, right? Because there are so many times there are political statements. I will bring Kaveri to TN. That's a common statement, right? It's a political statement. By when, what, nobody knows. So for these kind of people, whenever you are talking to them, you have to be very, very specific, and that's how you get their attention. Okay, so the last one is expressives. We said, okay, these are the jolly people in a layman level. So in their desk, if you see, actually they will have pictures of family. In their wall, they will actually have all the happiest moments they have enjoyed. And the good part is, even if they want to say a no to you, it will not hurt you. So that's something which is actually positive. Now, how to deal with these people? The discussion should be like always on this part. You have to convince them in a friendly manner. If you actually use them on a dictatorship model, they will move away. They will not actually give you time for the next time. And they want to be liked. That's the important point. So therefore, they will do everything that is required from your end. So specifically with these people, there are a lot of times, whether even if you don't talk about something, a different topic, these people will tend to talk. So you have to bring back to the topic to influence them, or otherwise you will lose the time what has been given by them. Okay, so we saw about all these characters, character study, and how a person is, and then how you have to change yourself to handle the person. If you are thorough with this, at least if you are aware of, okay, this is the personality, this is what I want to do, you will have more easy way of understanding them and more easy way of getting to them. So that's how it is. So we have about 7-8 minutes. I'll just try to cover it in 3-4 minutes, so that I have 4-5 slides. So the personality is also observed from, we call this a triple C. It's the commitment, communication, and caring. The commitment is, the more you are committed, you say simple. Say you are starting from your college or from your office, and you say that 8 o'clock I'll be at home. If you are at home, automatically you will start be looked as a committed person, right? The commitment can be in any form. That's how the commitment actually matters. How you communicate, how you talk, whether you are teaching, whether you are giving information, whether you are negotiating, how you do that, your personality is getting observed. And then what kind of a caring you give. We gave a first example of, okay, two-wheeler, side stand. You care for somebody, that person gives a positive personality look, right? That's how the caring comes in. Any interesting conversation, always, you just look back all your days where you had a great conversation. You will find the transfer of enthusiasm will be there between both the parties. Only then you will start liking the person as well. right? So now that's the quote, what is there? Without commitment, you cannot have in anything, even if it is a relationship or a business or even if it is a hobby, right? Okay. Now, even your personality is being unveiled. These are the two famous stills, a kind of a interview sessions. One is actually a TV reporter interviewing the chief minister. The other one is a person who is getting interviewed for a job, right? If you actually look at it, both of them have done a study of the other personality, right? In the first one, the interviewer has actually done a study of the chief minister, had a full background of what questions to ask, and he's much prepared, right? And he's showing a submissive nature in terms, because he's the one who's going to interview it, and he's showing a submissive nature. Whereas in the other side, the interviewer is actually he's actually recruiting a person, and he's actually showcasing the authority position. In both the places, the person who is actually trying to get what they want, they use the tactics to get in. Okay, for example, we'll just spend about a minute. Whatever that you answer over there, for example, there may be a question of common aspect. Tell me about yourself. The people look at your communication style. They understand that, okay, you are so fluent. Okay, put a tick mark. The next question is, okay, fine. Some basic questions like, okay, what are your interests and what is your hobby? For example, you say, I play football. Automatically, the person thinks, okay, this personality is actually a team player. He knows he would have handled so many issues, conflicts in his team. He will be in a better position to be for a team player in the organization as well. Suppose if you play, the moment you say chess, the moment you say individual games, okay, this person is more of an individual player. He can do tasks on his own at times. So these are some of the personalities which comes out in an interview. So this itself is actually about, we can actually talk on this slide alone about 30 minutes. But what is more important is what you speak and where all your personality is being displayed is what actually. So without knowingly, either knowingly or unknowingly, there are a lot of times your personality comes out. So are you aware of this? Only if you are aware of this, you will be in a position to understand the personality of the other side, why something is being asked, how something is being positioned. Okay, so this is what we discussed. I'm just moving it. This is one slide which I thought, okay, I'll just keep it for ourselves. 1 second, something is coming on the screen. Yeah. So now we are in a digital era, right? Today, for example, now whatever the session that we are having it on a collaboration tool. I didn't explain about my profession. So the profession that I'm in is actually, I'm just maybe sorry for next 2-3 minutes, and somebody can go on mute. The person who is okay, great. Yeah, thank you. So my profession is actually into providing this kind of a collaboration services where when I say the enterprise business, we enable such platform. Today, the platform in which we are actually talking about the what do you call the WebEx or the Google Meet or Zoom, whatever it is. Do you know how it works, how it functions? That's the services that we provide. Now, post-COVID or post-pandemic, now what has actually happened? All these kind of discussions have actually moved over to the video mode, right? Today, all the business conversations are happening on video mode. Today, all the educational things are happening on the video mode. So then what's happening? The way we actually function itself is actually changing, right? Now, more of these thoughts will actually come in. Now, do you know how your personality gets observed in a video call? Today, we are actually talking. What are the stuffs? So let's just have a look at some few points. With this, I'll actually open up the question and answers. Okay. So here, if the opposite person is on a video, okay, and if you are not going to switch on the video, okay, it's actually a kind of a breach. So usually, and specifically when you're actually talking to foreigners, you are supposed to say that, okay, I'm not able to join by video. Please apologize. I have a problem. So it's not that, okay, the other person is always on video and you lobby around by hiding the video. No, that's wrong. Absolutely wrong. Immediately something else goes. The thoughts of the person who are actually talking will actually change. Position your video angle rightly. At times you will not know where the angle is actually talking. We have seen people walking with the mobile phone and they will actually shoot as if a Mani Ratnam movie is being shot. But believe me, the person who's on the other end is going to have a hell of a lot of time on the distraction. He will not be able to concentrate and talk what he wants. So again, your personality gets tested over there. If you want to switch off the video in the middle, please inform, convey. Even if you want to step out for an emergency reason, please convey. Please post it in the chat window or say that, okay, I want to move out. So, and okay, yeah, this is something I was actually talking about. No distraction in the background. As much as possible, make a professional thing. Suppose if you're actually going to an office, or suppose if you're going to school or going to college, what happens over there? You don't actually get distracted, right? You are actually sitting in a class and the teaching happens over there. Now, in case if something has to be happening, even if it's a professional side, why do we allow the distraction? So then accordingly, your thing is also again tested over there, your personality. Dress to impress. Irrespective of whatever it is, have the right attire for that particular conversation. maybe for a professional attire, don't go with a round neck or maybe with a t-shirt. Don't be casual. So don't take anything light, because that's the first personality observation that is going to come out. So importantly, be acquainted with the video conference features. For example, suppose all of a sudden you have to showcase your the screen, and in the other screen you are doing some other activity. Be careful with whatever that you are doing, because that comes out, it's a natural personality is actually coming out there. So be careful and never speak at the same time. Yeah, it's very important, because and don't do multitasking. It will easily be identified by the other personality. You ask all the teachers who are actually teaching for the students, they will know clearly what kind of a problem they are actually undergoing. The famous example, the old movie of Bhagiraj comes in, right? Ek gav mein ek kisan rahta. So how when the Hindi Pandit teaches and then how others behave. So don't do multitasking when something is happening professionally over there. Use the volume, tone, pitch appropriately. Volume is speak it in the right level. Tone is use the right tone. Don't use a very aggressive tone and the slow tone. Pitch, modulate appropriately. So what's the benefit you get? You get the right perception. You get the right personality image at the other person end. So I think I try to cover as much as possible with related to the personality on a generic scale. It's not a lecture session, just insights to all. So with this, I complete my session. I'm sorry, I've taken a little bit of 5 to 7 minutes more. Maybe if there is any questions, we can actually discuss it and talk it. So I'll disconnect the presentation. Maybe if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat window, or maybe we can discuss. If time is not permitting, I would request you to please sign off. But if time permits, we'll have this conversation. So thanks, Mr. Veera and Akshay Lakshmi, for this opportunity. And just stop it. Yeah.
Veena, are you there? Okay, Ekta. Yeah, yes, you can proceed.
Amazing presentation. In fact, all of us were very much interactive in finding out about our own personalities. The interactive presentation, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Participants, we are open to questions. So please, you can unmute yourself to ask any questions to our speaker today, or you can also message your queries on the chat box and we will read out the question as such. If you have any questions regarding the kind of content, also regarding the test that we did, so please go ahead. We have a couple more minutes and then we will find out.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So in the entire PPT, we were talking about our personalities, and you said that no one is right and wrong. Like all the personalities are natural and that it should be.
Yeah.
Then why do we need to change for professional setups, sir? Like I never like digest that fact.
Okay, so the professional setup is actually different. See, that's where people say, right, when you follow your passion, automatically you don't need to act on anything. For example, if your passion is with say science subject and you become a sales guy, what happens? You are forced to do whatever that the sales profession wants, right? So if you're picking up that way, you will never find it. So for example, a person who is so passionate about say football, okay, now that person can be a football player as a profession. But then what happens? The person skips the passion and then move on to a different profile. Obviously, he has to hide his passion. So no other option than that. So it's a basic aspect. Today, for example, every organization, wherever you go and work, okay, for example, if you are actually, let's take example of a teacher and a professor. So there is an image that has been built for a teacher and professor. But teacher and professor also has a passion of the natural way, what they want to. But so you cannot actually expect that for a teacher, because for sure there is a certain minimum expectation. Okay, this is how a teacher has to be. So therefore you will have multiple personas. Even this is the case for even for a police, advocate, anyone for that nature.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Krishnan. I just wanted to have this in continuation of Ekta's question.
Right.
See, we have to, there are certain rules defined by the company. So
Right.
We have to oblige that. So otherwise, we'll be chucked out, as simple as that.
Right.
But you can also be assertive, and you have your own set of rules which will comply with the company's policies and your boss's expectations and all. You can work on that.
Right.
But one question I wanted to ask is, how this works between in the management level and the lower level. So whether it is the same, you cannot have one size fit in everybody.
Correct.
So how do we manage that?
Okay. So can I get a further sharpening on your questions? In the sense, when you talk about management and the junior level, what exactly you were actually looking for?
No, see, the rules differ from the management level and the lower level.
Right.
Or it will be pseudo otherwise.
Right.
Okay, they don't, it will look like same, but it will be different.
Right.
So in that situations, then how do we manage with our personality and with the boss's personality?
Right.
Personality.
So that's what I was actually, I think one of the slide I actually spoke about. Sorry, I'm getting an echo. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Thank you. So what happens is when you are at the organization at the junior level, you are actually bounded by so much of regulations, maybe from your boss, maybe from the department, maybe from at all levels. You do not know what is your cross-functional department is going to talk about, perceive you about. So to get a positive perception, you will try to showcase it's all positive nature. So this we call maybe imagine if two people are loving each other, okay, maybe or so during that point of time, all the positive things only will be shown. It's only after marriage the other side of the situation actually comes in, right? So when it can happen at that level in a personal life, imagine how much you actually hide your face in an organization. So the first level you actually hide and you actually be submissive, you get everything. The moment you start moving up your ladder, and then your personality actually comes in, the real personality. So that's when the moment they become their bosses, or so that's how the management understands and looks at. So the organization behavior as a subject in the management courses is all important because of this reason. Second, you should also groom the right leader for the next level to get into the leadership role. So if you don't get into it, the empathetic factor, if it is missing, the people factor misses out. So therefore, organization has a principle of, okay, how a junior member is being evaluated. They have a different KPIs, a middle management, how they are evaluated, and there are certain guidelines. Obviously, yes, the moment you get into a people management, your guideline talks about how you have to handle people. And people management is a very, very critical task, because the moment you start handling 500 people, 5,000 people, 50,000 people, your personality changes. So what kind of and there is, as you rightly said, there is no one single module for, okay, this way you have to govern. This also comes in for a person who is so performing well, you might have a different way of working with them. For a person who is not working 100%, you have to push them. No other option. You cannot show a soft nature to them. So that actually that's the difference, and therefore you will tend to come out with multiple personalities in our life, in respective person's life.
Absolutely, it was fantastic presentation, Subbu. And
I
just put a message that in EC call my brother-in-law was there.
Okay.
KC Chandrasekharan.
Okay.
And he was the pioneer in that, and then he retired as a president in Jio.
So, superb. So I think way back in 99, 2000.
Exactly. 98, I think he left.
Okay, great. Super. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for connecting with you, sir.
Sir, can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Sir, as you said, personality changes as you climb in the ladder in corporate sector.
Yeah.
Okay. But your slide said personality never changes. It is the behavior that changes.
No, that's what I said. The personality, even if you try to change, because you try to hide certain aspects, you try to change, but the actual personality remains the same. Your hidden personality, and you try to develop and do it. That if it becomes a natural personality, that's well and good. Else, somewhere or the other, maybe post retirement, you will come back to your old personality.
Sir, but a submissive person or passive person with a passive personality climbs up ladder in the higher position. Now he needs to have a different personality to control the team of say 5,000 people or so.
Right.
Now, what do you think, sir? Can he do it, sir?
See, that is exactly where the leadership skills actually comes in. You are asking an excellent question, because there are times you will find very large corporates, they will not give priority to the experience and exposure. They will actually give up. So you would have seen all of a sudden, maybe there will be some 3 people who is ready for the CEO post, but then you will find the organization is recruited from outside. Maybe these are some of the things which unknowingly they have actually possessed it. So certain people are so cautious that, okay, fine, if I am passive, I will try to showcase as, okay, I am aggressive or assertive. If I don't, very, very rarely such people comes into the top level. So it's unless and until something completely, it's a different situation if it happens. So usually in a private sector, you will not find such things coming up easily.
Sir, if such person comes up, it is surely to be failed in his performing his responsibility.
Yeah, see, 80% of the time, the performance goes down, because the focus what as a leader you are supposed to have, you are actually missing it. You might tend to come up with your own ideas, which is not actually required at that stage, but whatever that is required for that stage, you might be missing a lot. So for example, let's take an example. If organization decides to send, say, out of a 1 lakh organization, employee organization, if 5,000 people have to be sent out, okay, now just because this person is passive, have to be. So what happens? Either you compromise one side, either you send people out, or either you actually take a hit on your financials. Now, how long you can take a hit on your financials? So it's like a cancer cell. The first time, if you don't correct it, if it becomes big, then the entire organization has to be removed. So there are so many examples which we can actually talk about this principle when the leadership do not accept what's the reality on the ground. So there is another model which I used to take in terms of how such things has changed in life. For example, Nokia, who was a dominant player on mobile handset manufacturing in 2000, from 2002 to 2008, Nokia, people in everyone's in hand, the Nokia was there. They had a market share of 70% in India. Now what happened? Because they didn't accept Android as an operating system. They said that, no, I have the dominant force. Somebody accepted it, somebody changed. So all these are, it all depends on the person's leadership skill, how the person actually looks at the environment, what he adopts, what he's in a position to visualize. So that's why it is very, very important to know the personal strength, try to showcase something, at least what is required for the next level. So today, believe me, I work in a corporate environment. The first thing that we actually do is, unless and until you showcase your strength for the next level, you will not be pushed to the next level. You will never get it. So which means if I am actually a manager, can I act at the general manager level in my current profile? Only then when I give a general manager, that is, suppose I'm a president, I have one manager and I have a general manager position opening. Now I will first, when I want to promote from this senior manager or a DGM to a general manager, what I look at is this person behaving in the fashion what is required for the GM post? Only then I'll give. If the person want to take a trial and error, maybe that percentage is only 5%. 95%, I will actually move him out. I will find out a person who's already possessing that skill. So that's something, it's an interesting topic which we can actually discuss more and more.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, I've taken more time. Any questions which you want me to answer?
Thank you so much, sir, for patiently answering all the queries of the participants. I now request Shobha ma'am to give vote of thanks for the session today.
Thank you, Mr. Subbratnam. It was fantastic presentation, and you have covered it very, live with an examples, and also very actively you engage the participants. I really like the part of connecting the assessment and as well as the aspects of personality and behavior. And personality per se, if you really think of the core aspects cannot be changed, whereas the dynamic part, which is actually the peripheral part, could be groomed and which can be adapted over the period of time. So there is a possibility for all of us to get into the ladder by training ourselves also. And I really enjoyed the presentation, as well as I appreciate for your efforts, and as well as beautiful examples with Dhoni was really awesome example. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Subbratnam. It shows your commitment, dedication, and your expertise in the field, how you explain the terms. And please, we are marking in gratitude from the Department of Psychology, Madurai American College, as well as Madras School of Social Work Department of Psychology, and MS Challamuthu, Trust, Rehabilitation Trust, and as well as Red Pand Academy and other associates. And we are so grateful for your presentation today. We look forward for another presentation from your side with another genre of, I think something very importantly needed right now with an emotional management or an kind of an, the emotional regulation for the top level, middle level, and as well as the other level, and which is the millionaire. Handling the millionaire is the greatest challenge for I think in the corporate world, and I think you can come out with some of the topics like that, because your way of presentation really impressive. I think that will be a very good presentation from your side. So looking forward for your session more, and over to you, Suresh.
Before that, just a second. Thank you, madam. Thanks for all the kind words, very encouraging words. I would really love to do this. In fact, the only challenge that I was actually foreseeing was the time duration. Because when we try to do this in a 45-minute and then try to answer a good session, it's actually tough. But yes, we can actually, in case if we are genuinely interested, we can actually make it into 2 parts and we can have a good full-fledged presentation. Thanks for your words, ma'am.
So you are welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
A lovely presentation, sir. I think definitely we'll have one more session. Suresh not here.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Suresh.
Thank you all, and we'll meet in another session on tomorrow. I request you please share our Telegram group link to your friend and family circle to encourage them to participate over webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Subbratnam. Also be part of us in promoting mental health and across the globe. We have been doing it right from the April 14th, and we welcome all the experts to join us and also spread across the message. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. In fact, all credits to actually my wife, who has actually done her double masters. One of the masters is in psychology, and somehow I become a fan of that. And that's why I said I connected with her with American College, where she actually did that. Thank you for that.
Then we'll have
you have a better partner then.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks for the session.